Gaffer, we'll start with a quick look back to the weekend's game. Now you've had a bit more time to process it. What are your thoughts? How do you see that match?
I don't think a huge amount has changed in terms of how I feel now to then. Obviously, talk about it a lot, remove the emotion from the performance, and I thought we were excellent. I thought first half we were really good, in terms of how we got into their final third. I thought we picked up a lot of second balls. We were really resolute in how we defended, and disappointed even more so now, having watched the game back, that we didn't capitalise on one of those big moments. So it's always difficult when things aren't going your way in front of goal. But what I will say is that the players are in really good spirits at the moment. There was a lot of disappointment around after the game in terms of in the dressing room, and that's because they know how well they played, and that's a real positive for me. So we've got to take those feelings and those thoughts of positivity into a really tough game against Oxford United tomorrow night.
Ryan Finnegan wasn't in the squad at the weekend. Can you explain his situation for us, please?
Spoke about it afterwards, and unfortunately he had a freak accident on Thursday in training. He twisted his ankle quite badly. We were hopeful at the beginning that it wouldn't be anything too sinister, but subsequent x-rays, and he's booked in for an MRI, we think he's done some real damage, and even best case scenario would probably be 3 to 4 months, which is really disappointing because Ryan, I think, was just starting to come into his own. He'd played a lot of football since joining. It obviously means now that we're a body down again in midfield, which is tough. I think the most difficult thing for us to deal with at the moment is the injuries that we've picked up haven't been muscle injuries. What they are is they've been devastating, sort of either season-long injuries or months as opposed to weeks. So it's really difficult at the moment. But what I do know is that other players now in the team, if they maybe didn't have a chance before, they have a chance now to impress, and when they get a shirt, to try and keep it.
You said in the past you hoped Elliot Thorpe might be back in October. How is he looking? He's still on track for to return soon?
I think that's optimistic, as I'm led to believe, because his injury, with it being a stress fracture of his back, is one that we have to go by in terms of his symptoms. So he's not back on the grass yet. He's in the gym. I think he's working on the bike at the moment, but it's baby steps with him, because what we need to make sure is that with that type of injury, that there isn't undue stress put on his back. And look, if you think about it, for every action that you undertake as a person, whether that's walking, we all use our back, so we've got to be really careful with that one. As it stands, October would be great, but I haven't sat down and had a definitive conversation with Skitty and the medical staff, purely and simply because we're treating it day by day.
How's everybody else? No new injuries since we last spoke 48 hours ago?
No, everybody's fine. Everybody came through the game pretty much unscathed, as the rules is after every game of football and every combat. There will be tired bodies, and there were a couple of knocks and bruises, but other than that, I expect everybody that was available for Saturday to be available for tomorrow night's game.
Going through kind of the season overall in the league, played 9 games, kept 3 clean sheets there as well. What's your assessment of your team's defensive performances so far?
Really good. I look at the areas in which we have strength, and I believe that's out of possession. I believe we're really resolute. We keep a very good shape, and we've got players that are willing to put their body on the line within a structure. I think if we work on that metric and that metric alone, then we'll get at least 15 clean sheets this season. So that's at least 15 points. So, they're facts. I think, can we get better at it still? 100% we can. Are the players taking on board everything that we're saying? Yes, they are. Whether we make tweaks for certain games, players are still asking questions and are still doing their jobs. So really pleasing on that perspective. I think there's still areas for improvement. We can still be better. We can still demand more out of each other. That's the players I'm talking about on the pitch. But to a man, defending starts from the front. Our number 9s have undergone a lot of education about what we expect for them out of possession. So for us, there isn't a free position within our team. Every player has to defend, and likewise, if you flip that, every player has to be part of an attack as well.
On to tomorrow night's game. Oxford, obviously, it's going to be a tough one. They've had a very good start to the season. What have you seen of them in preparation for that game?
Score a lot of goals. Even if you look at the last two fixtures they've had, they're a team that will be high on confidence. Liam has got them really playing football. They've got 18 goals this season, so that tells you where they have a threat. They have real individual brilliance, which we will need to make sure that we undertake our jobs and roles and responsibilities properly when we haven't got the ball. Will we get chances to score? Yes, we will. It's now up to us to make sure that we take those opportunities. I feel that there will be times tomorrow night where we probably won't have the ball as much as we would like. Why? Because Oxford are very fluid. They like to keep the ball, they like to move the ball, they like to play through their pivots in midfield, and they've got good attacking options. But one thing I do know is that whatever team is selected, and the players know that today, they're ready to go to give a performance against Oxford United tomorrow night.